Thank you for joining us today on Kyzcast. Kyzcast is an artist platform that highlights the message behind the vision. Artists will showcase their music, poetry, business ventures, and opinions. This platform is a judge-free zone. Negative comments and or feedback are not welcome here. We respect all art in all forms because we are artists and we are sensitive about our shit. Today on Kyzcast, we will be featuring singer, songwriter, producer, engineer Jack Red. First question is, what is your music background and what inspires you to make music?
Um, I am a singer, songwriter. I grew up in a musical family. My dad sings, my mom sings, and I grew up singing in my grandfather's church. And when I was 7, my parents put me in a music conservatory, Marion School of Music, where I studied percussion, voice, cello, piano, and some other things. And growing up in a church, and then growing up singing in a church, and then going to Merit and learning all these different genres, classical, jazz, things like that, and singing in different languages, really kind of changed how I looked at music and changed my sound. And as I got older, got into R&B, and grew up around Motown because my dad sings Motown. So that soul element has always been a part of my sound. And then hip hop and hip hop soul into what you hear from me today.
How important is your image as an artist?
My image as an artist is very important. It's your first impression. Most times nowadays, people are gonna see you before they hear you, and you got to make sure that you get their attention.
Okay. How are female singers/artists able to compete in a male-dominated industry without selling sex? In your opinion?
I think aside from gimmicks and provocative tactics, it really just comes down to the talent at the end of the day in the music industry. To me, and I think that's gonna stand out once you see past the provocative stuff, and you get down to what's really there. I think that's what people relate to. I think that's what women relate to. Telling stories and really putting that emotion in the music. And like I look at an artist like Jessie Reyez. Like she's a newer artist. She's a Hispanic artist, and she goes hard on the not selling her body. It's just like, yo, this is my music, this is my story, these are the things that I go through, and this is what I want y'all to see, and this is what I want y'all to feel. And I mean, as far as I can tell, it works for her. Like she's a gorgeous, young lady, but I mean, it's like I rock with her music. You know what I'm saying? Like she's, and she does a good job of putting that first, and we're seeing more and more of that because, like the artist her, she's, making sure that like, it's not about her looks. You don't even know what her damn face looks like.
She's dope.
She's dope as hell. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people have to go on. Even Sia, she was really about kind of breaking that mold and of being a sex symbol, and just focusing on the music. Like Shorty got hits. Like it's just people fell in love with her music before they even knew what she looked like. And most people still don't know what the hell she looks like.
Okay, so in what ways do you encourage or uplift women in your music?
All of my music is really just about discovery and self-discovery and embracing who you are, embracing where you come from, and embracing your flaws, your mistakes. Everything you do is a part of your journey. Everything you do is part of finding out who you are. Learning yourself. And there's beauty in that. There's no mistakes in that. There's no You know, even though I say embrace your flaws, there's no flaw in who you are, like to yourself. Like you just that's who you are. You know, so just learning that and learning how to fall in love with that is my message. I just released a record on my EP called Made Up, and it's really just talking about, you know, just how this person is just so perfect, like as they are. It's just like, man, it's like you were just made up just for me, like, you know. And it works in two ways. Made up, like, you know, it's almost like you're too good to be true, as well as, you know, made up and made just for me.
Talk a little bit about the message behind your brand and what it means.
The message behind my brand, it's really simple, you know, and it speaks and it's parallel to the message in my music. You know, it's just be who you are. You know, be natural. You know, be yourself. Um, be unapologetic. Whatever that looks like. You know, I think most people think to be unapologetic means you have to be over the top or flamboyant in some way. No, it's just, you know, mean what you say what you mean, and don't hold anything back. And that comes in all sorts of shapes and sizes, you know. And I love telling stories, and I love finding ways to tell stories that people can really connect to. I don't really make pop music in the sense of, like, you know, really standard, formulaic, catchy, you know, things, but I try to make timeless music. In that, if I played you something that I made 5-6 years ago, this, you know, it would still sound current and new and refreshing. And so, that's the same for the image for my brand. It's just, you know, I want things to be very natural and timeless, and not necessarily trendy or you know, set in any sort of way. It's just natural.
With the direction in which the music industry is headed today, do you feel like it's better to have label support or to be independent? Label support as in being signed to a label.
If it depends, it all depends on the deal. You know, it's the word independent changes more and more every day because the types of deals that people are doing are changing more and more every day. If I do a distribution deal, you know, and have, you know, major distribution like with Empire or something like that to put me in the places that some major label artists are in, you know, does that make me a major at that point? You know, or if an artist signs to a major label but they are able to retain most of their control, you know, as if they were independent, but just have a, you know, a joint venture or a, you know, partnership with a label, like those things, that works as well. So it all just depends. For me, I would like to have, you know, kind of the unicorn scenario where it's the most control with the most resources, and it's hard to come by sometimes. You know, you sometimes only get one or the other. You get a lot of control but limited resources because, you know, you only have yourself. You know, or if you do get involved with somebody that has a lot of resources, you 9 times out of 10 lose a lot of the control because you're dealing with other people who are making things happen. So it's really hard to say which one is better than the other, but the focus is for me, in my opinion, the focus is to have the most control behind whatever resources you get, because at the end of the day, it's your vision. You know, you can't expect anybody else to push you better than you.
The next question is, how important of a role is social media in your career? Is it a requirement to have a social media presence as an artist? Are there new artists blossoming without any social media platform?
I think it's major. I think it's super vital to have a social media presence this day and age. Is it impossible to break out as an artist without social media? No. I think there are a lot of things happening nowadays because social media's been around for a little while now. Even though it doesn't seem like it, it's been Facebook's been around at least 10, maybe 15 years. So um, it's people I feel are getting to the point where they kind of see the value in person to person interaction, like direct interaction. Having being able to feel what it's like to be in the room with someone and what it's like to interact with people. Not through this veil of you know social media. And but social media is a powerful tool that allows artists, both independent or major or whatever, to reach more people at once. And that's important. You know it, it's not that a new artist may be coming out and they have some music coming out and it might not be getting uh, the response that they think. And it's not because that artist isn't good. It's just people haven't seen it. People don't know about it. People don't know it exists. And so social media is a tool that people can use to push that, and to get more exposure and get visibility. And so I definitely think it's important for artists to have that. But I don't think it's a make or break. Some things that we're doing with my EP is and how we're marketing it is partnering with people that incentivize people to get out and physically interact with the content. We're trying to break down that digital barrier. We use social media to promote that platform and that experience, but we're focusing in on the experience of it instead of just you gotta scroll on your phone and swipe and tap something. The convenience of it, like there's more value in that interaction that we can have, and the moments that we can create as people and the things that we can share in a physical space.
Okay. So, if an artist is not social media savvy, what would you recommend their approach be to marketing themselves in the year of 2018?
Get creative, and grassroots marketing is never going to go away. Guerrilla marketing is never going to go away. It's nothing beats word of mouth, and word of mouth starts with just saturating your market, like putting visibility, like making sure you're everywhere, like even if you're not going to be on social media, if you take some money and saturate 10 city blocks with your flyer or your content, whatever, you're gonna get some eyes. You know what I'm saying? There are things to do. There are things you can do outside of social media that are effective. But you just got to get creative, and you gotta. And it's sad, but you have to somewhat be invasive to really break through to people. And sometimes it's a good thing, and sometimes it's not a good thing. But being clever and being creative in your approach, and think about yourself. Like what would you click on? What would you like to see? What would you? I can't tell you how many times I've walked out of a restaurant and somebody's handed me a CD of the mixtape or something. It was like, oh, okay, word, I'm gonna check this out. I'm not checking that damn thing out. I'm not gonna listen to that. I don't even have a CD player right now. So, but that doesn't mean that artists can't take a direct hand-to-hand approach in distributing their music. No CDs aren't big anymore, but QR codes are. Flash drives are. Bluetooth audio. That's these are things that's the same way of handing out your mixtape, but it's just it's a little different. Like people, I guarantee you, if you're standing outside of a Harold's Chicken Shack, and it'll be more difficult. But if you say, hey, I wanna send you my mixtape, all you have to do is turn your Bluetooth on. It's risky because people feel like, yo, you finna hack my phone or something, like but like I think more people would be interested in that than trying to get handed a CD that has a stigma attached to it now. Handing out CDs outside of restaurants is almost looked down upon. Like, it's looked like you're not, that you're losing out here. In my opinion, I feel like that's how people view it. So, but you can take that same concept, and apply and take note of the sign of the times and apply as needed.
It seems as though R&B artists are not being represented and pushed the way hip-hop and pop artists are. What challenges are R&B artists facing in the music industry today?
People are facing, well, yeah, I agree. R&B, I agree and I disagree. R&B music has always been this thing that's evolved and come in and out of the limelight for the longest. But I really think it's in a great place because R&B has always been so different than all the other genres. There's the intimacy and the skill and the soulfulness and when I think of R&B, I think about classic R&B. I'm thinking about Marvin Gaye. I'm thinking about the Temps. And they, to be honest, they were considered pop groups at the time, but that was because it was just popular music. But it was soul. It was Motown. It was R&B soul. And we're seeing that come back. We're seeing that people miss feeling something when they hear music. And it's interesting because in the industry now, R&B and hip hop are being blurred into one. They said the most popular genre, in the United States is hip hop R&B. They didn't just say
one genre.
Yeah, that's one genre. It's interesting, So it's like I could say some other things about that, but and how and why those two are matched up together. Because I'm trying to think of what other urban genres there are. Yeah, but I think that's just kind of how they view it. It's like, yeah, no, urban music's really popular now. Hip hop and R&B are two very, very different things, but they just kind of smash it into one. But R&B is definitely,
it's almost like smashing rock and pop.
Exactly.
In the same.
Yeah, or
which
metal.
They would never do.
Yeah, like metal and punk, or like alternative and rock. Like they make sure that they separate these categories.
Right.
Even though it's all the damn same thing, but. It's okay. Like, this is the world we live in. We take our wins, in stride, baby steps. But R&B, I think people miss love songs,
Do you think R&B is just like a trending genre?
Right now?
It's only hot when it's trending? No, like, that's when it waves in and waves out, is when there's an R&B trend. Because it seems like hip-hop is always trending.
No, I don't think...
You think R&B is always trending as well?
I think... I can agree to that. I can agree that hip-hop is always prevalent in some way, simply because it's so polarizing. It the true essence of hip-hop, like what it's supposed to be. But R&B is... I don't know, like, it's... As long as it evolves and it progresses in a way that... That keeps its uniqueness, but still captures people in a new way, then it's gonna win. But there are some elements of R&B that are just what they are, that aren't going away. People love some good old singing, like some damn that man can sing. Like it's just
This is true.
Folks been singing. The Temps was singing women's panties off, like hotcakes. It was crazy. It was, like I've never heard of somebody rapping a woman's clothes. I don't know. Like it's, I just think it's different. Like it's. I take pride in it. I take pride in having an ability, in my genre that another genre doesn't. You know what I'm saying? That I my music does something to people differently than a hip hop artist or a pop artist or a rock artist, a country artist. You know what I'm saying? Are there sexy country songs?
Probably, but I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know either.
What role does music play in our mental health and wellness, and how does your music convey a healthy release of emotion?
Music is an important part of. I mean, music's everywhere. It's in every advertisements and it's everywhere. You know, it's in our electronic devices. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's a part of us. We are a frequency. Like our bodies resonate at a frequency, and if we, when we're ill, that's our body operating at a different frequency. And like there are studies that show people using music therapy to literally heal the body. Proper blood circulation and breathing techniques. And then I've been in the studio with people who have really, really bad speech impediments, like stutters, and I mean like really bad, and can't get a sentence out. And you cut on some music, and they will rap you under the table. Like you would never. It's amazing to me. It's mind blowing. And so, just seeing things like that shows me how important music is, to physical health as well as mental health. The emotions that we go through when listening to music. They were the news and stuff will sit there and say, this rap music or metal music or whatever, is poisoning the minds and it's affecting how people think. And it's I won't say that that's true, but I will say that music has a strong effect on us. When a certain beat comes on, you bounce for a reason. You know what I'm saying? You jump for a reason, or if somebody's singing, you cry for a reason. These things, they affect us. And I mean, at least for me, music. I'm involved in music and use music in every aspect of my life. As a way of expression, as a form of understanding, as a way of killing time. Just if I need to calm down, if I need to hype up, if I need to do whatever, like music is a part of that. And yeah, it's everywhere. And in my music, I know what it does for me. So when I'm creating my music, I want people to feel the same way. I want people to experience, these stories and these emotions the way that I feel it. Like if I'm making music, like people who've been in the studio with me, like sometimes they make fun of me because I'll be like I'm really weird. Like when I'm really inspired and I'm making something, it's almost like the song is already there or the thing is already there, and I'm just like fighting with myself to like try to get it out, because I'm experiencing it on the inside, and what it feels like. How can I need to be able to manifest this. I need to, get this out the right way so that people can feel this the same way that I do. And so, the way I sing, the way I arrange things, the instruments I use, the sounds I use, are all geared towards, evoking a certain emotion. But all of it is with a positive message. And I say positive in the sense of even if I'm writing a love song where I'm talking about how I've hurt somebody, I'm talking about how that happened and the resolution therein. Like it's these experiences are experiences that are needed, and are healthy, to have. Like heartbreak is healthy. It sets reference points for true happiness. Like I don't think anybody can experience true love without experiencing true heartbreak. And so I think all of it works towards a positive in some sort of way. So yeah, every song is gonna have that emotion that it's gonna have a high level of emotion that people can really latch onto.
In what ways do you contribute or give back to your community?
Um, I run a program in collaboration with the nonprofit After School Matters. It's a program called Rhyme Room, and we focus on at-risk youth, and I teach them the basics of songwriting and music production. And it's pretty much just I want these teens to understand this device that is music, as a means of therapy, as a means of comfort, as a means of expression, and we work with teens in average communities. So we work with teens that don't have the access that most other teens do, and that most other kids do, um, and or who don't have a support system at home. And we do everything in a creative, safe, and supportive environment. We encourage the teens to feel and to discuss things and to really try to understand themselves. If they're upset, why are you upset? What are you mad about? And it's okay to be mad, but like when that time is done, that time is done. Write that thing down, and get it out, and then move forward. And get the same thing with being sad, or the same thing with being happy. If you're happy, we wanna bottle that feeling. People love being happy all the time. So we wanna allow teens that opportunity and give them the tools to really self-medicate in a healthy way. My name's Jack Red. I am a singer, songwriter, producer. Check me out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Life of Jack Red, all one word. If you just put in Jack Red, you're not gonna find me. Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, Tidal, iTunes, Google Play, Deezer, Pandora, all of those things. Make sure you follow me, add me, and just dropped a new EP and short film entitled Holy Affair. It's big bussin', so make sure you check it out. And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and then all y'all get together and listen to it together. And yeah, gang gang.
Take your hand in mine. Oh, but we're just human. Yeah, it was only a matter of time. Yeah. If I'd known you would be the one to leave me falling from the sky. Free falling down, waves crashing as our hearts collide. We lost focus along the way, broken hearts that we can't replace. Guns and roses, the love's a game. Bombs away, these things happen. Strange and tragic. Love and magic. These things happen. Yeah. It's kinda hard to breathe when I'm drowning in your sin.
these things happen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Strange and tragic. Oh, oh, oh. Love and magic. Ooh, these things happen. Yeah.
Thank you for making Kyzcast a part of your day. Tune in every Monday for full interviews with more great artists. Kyzcast is streamed on SoundCloud at Kyzcast and at www.nikkikaiser.com. That's www.knikkikaiser.com.